It is exactly 3:17 a.m. The house is completely silent except for the low hum of the air conditioner and the faint rhythm of your own exhausted breathing. You are standing in the doorway of your child's bedroom, staring into the dim yellow light of the nightlight. Your husband is lightly snoring down the hall, leaving you alone in this quiet, heavy midnight shift. You look at the bed and see your child sleeping in the most bizarre, seemingly uncomfortable position imaginable. Half of their body is hanging off the mattress, one leg is tangled in the blanket, and their head is jammed aggressively into the corner of the crib. If you have ever walked into your child's room and found them sleeping completely upside down, taking up the entire king-sized bed, or refusing to close their eyes unless they are physically glued to your chest, you probably had a fleeting thought. You might think they are just restless, or worse, that you are doing something terribly wrong. Online parenting forums and well-meaning relatives probably tell you that your child lacks sleep discipline. Your mother-in-law might have even mentioned last Thanksgiving that a child who thrashes around at night is an anxious child. But neurobiology tells a vastly different and incredibly beautiful story. Today, we are going to frame everything you thought you knew about your child's bizarre sleep habits. These chaotic nighttime gymnastics are not signs of a sleep regression or behavioral issues. They are actually the secret, silent language of a highly active, rapidly developing brain. We are talking about emotional intelligence, sensory processing, and a nervous system that is doing heavy lifting while the rest of the world sleeps. Let us start with the child who sleeps like they pay the mortgage. You know the one, the starfish. You lay them down perfectly straight, tuck them in gently, and an hour later you return to find them sprawled out. Their arms are thrown wide open, legs stretched to the absolute maximum, fingers uncurled and relaxed against the sheets. If you try to share a bed with a starfish, you will likely spend the night clinging to the edge of the mattress, while a tiny foot repeatedly kicks your ribs. It is frustrating when you are exhausted and just want a tiny square of personal space. But look closer at that sprawling little body. Listen to their deep, rhythmic breathing. In the animal kingdom, exposing the stomach and extending the limbs is the ultimate biological vulnerability. A nervous system that is in fight or flight mode will never allow a body to rest in the starfish position. When your child takes up the whole bed, it means their amygdala, the brain's alarm center, is completely deactivated. They are demonstrating a profound, cellular level of physical and emotional safety. You have created an environment so secure that their brain does not feel the need to physically guard its vital organs. Their biological rhythm is anchoring safely into the routine you have built for them. So the next time that little foot pushes you to the edge of the bed, take a deep breath. That kick is actually a physical manifestation of trust. But what happens when the movement does not stop? Enter the midnight acrobat. This is the child who goes to sleep with their head on the pillow and wakes up with their feet on the headboard. They sleep sideways, horizontally, and sometimes completely upside down. You might find them with their face pressed against the cold wall, or doing a perfect yoga pose in their sleep. Society often labels these kids as hyperactive or difficult. You might worry that they are having nightmares or experiencing terrible sleep quality. The reality is tied directly to their brilliant developing motor cortex. Children with high motor needs spend their days running, climbing, pushing, and exploring physical boundaries. When they finally fall asleep, their brain does not simply shut off. During REM sleep, their nervous system is actively mapping sensory input from the day. They are literally rehearsing how to move through the world, processing spatial awareness, and organizing complex neural pathways. They are not being difficult or restless. Their brain is simply categorizing the physical physics of their environment. If your child is a midnight acrobat, they likely use you as a secure base during the waking hours. They run back to you for a quick hug before immediately sprinting back to the playground. That daytime security gives their brain the green light to do this wild, acrobatic processing at night. You are watching an intelligent, capable body figuring out its own strength in the dark. Now, let us move to the opposite end of the spectrum. What about the child who curls up into a tiny ball or hides entirely under the heavy blankets? We call this the blanket burrower, or the fetal curl. These are often the 4 to 6-year-olds with incredibly vivid imaginations. When the sun goes down, their brilliant minds start working overtime. A harmless shadow from the window suddenly looks like a monster, and the creak of the floorboards sounds like footsteps. It is easy for parents to dismiss this behavior as stalling or whining. You might find yourself losing patience, telling them there is nothing to be afraid of. But for a highly sensitive child, the fear they feel is absolutely real. Their nervous system is experiencing a very real state of sensory overload. By pulling their knees to their chest and hiding under the covers, they are brilliantly executing a self-protective mechanism. They are physically blocking out auditory and visual stimuli to help calm their own amygdala. They do not need strict discipline or a lecture about being brave in this moment. What they actually need is low-stimulation parenting to help wind down their overactive, highly intelligent minds. A quiet room, a dim light, and a parent who simply sits nearby can change everything. And then, there is the position that leaves you the most physically and emotionally exhausted of all, the human mattress. This is the sensitive child who absolutely refuses to close their eyes unless they are physically attached to your chest, your arm, or even your face. You know the drill. You wait until their breathing gets heavy, and then you attempt the legendary ninja roll. You try slipping your arm out from under their head, inch by agonizing inch, holding your breath in the dark room. But the very second you detach your body, their eyes snap wide open, and the frantic crying begins. Society, sleep trainers, and well-meaning friends will quickly warn you that you are spoiling them. They will confidently tell you that holding a baby too much creates terrible habits and guarantees a permanently clingy child. But when you are sitting in the nursery rocking chair at 4 in the morning, feeling completely touched out, exhausted, and utterly depleted, I want you to remember the profound science of co-regulation. Your child's immature nervous system is not trying to manipulate you or ruin your night. It is quite literally syncing with your adult heartbeat, matching your breathing rate, and absorbing the consistent warmth of your skin. Because their own internal emotional brakes have not fully developed yet, they are borrowing yours. They are using your calm, regulated adult body as a biological blueprint to build their own emotional intelligence. Yes, being someone's human mattress is incredibly exhausting. But in those quiet, heavy, unseen moments in the dark, your physical presence is actively wiring their brain for a lifetime of secure attachment. They are learning on a cellular level that the world is a deeply safe place, simply because you have never stopped being their safe harbor. We so often fall into the trap of thinking that true intelligence is just about reading early, reciting the alphabet perfectly, or understanding complex math concepts before kindergarten. But a high IQ means absolutely nothing without the sturdy foundation of a secure, regulated nervous system. True intelligence always starts with emotional security. A child's sleep does not just mysteriously begin when their head finally hits the pillow at night. It actually begins with the consistent feeling of safety that you painstakingly build for them throughout the entire day. To the deeply exhausted, sleep-deprived parents watching this right now, I want you to hear this message loud and clear. You are not creating bad habits by comforting your crying child in the dark. True independence does not come from forcing a child to face their fears completely alone in a dark room. It comes from being supported and held long enough that they finally feel brave enough to try on their own. You are not failing. You are simply walking alongside a nervous system that is still growing, and you are doing a remarkably beautiful job. If you found a piece of your own chaotic, beautiful parenting journey in this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe so we can continue to support each other. Share this video with another tired mother who desperately needs to hear that she is doing exactly what her child's developing brain needs.